Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Welcome back to World of Tanks. On this episode, we have Night Dog and his T-29. Probably one of his favorite steeds, if not his favorite steed. He has loaded into Mannheim. Night Dog sent this to me, thought it might be good content for the channel. I took a look at it, and I started immediately thinking about, all right, let's talk to Night Dog about being more aggressive. Let's talk about things that, the ways I would do it and that kind of thing. But it actually got me to thinking, and I think this is a great example for what I want to talk about, which is more than one way to skin the cat. I think a lot of players are much more, and I'm not going to say passive, because you can be careful. You can be more careful than Guido and not be passive. So Night Dog kind of falls into this area, because when he first came to me, he was extremely passive, and he has become much more aggressive as we go. But he just has a more careful game style or gameplay style than I do, and that is absolutely fine, because what I have learned from about a year and a half, 2 years of doing this is that there are multiple game styles and they work. It just depends on you. It depends on what you want to do. Now, that being said, I want to caution people from taking that to mean being too passive. Okay, and I think most people who have watched me for any amount of time understand that that's not what I'm saying. But let's talk about where that might be, examples of it perhaps in this game, and where it isn't. Because Guido would have gone down where the Tiger II and the King Tiger and the Chrysler are. Night Dog stays up here, hold down with his T-29 in an advantageous place. I would contend that I think I could have gone down there and maybe helped this team win down there. Maybe Night Dog couldn't. Maybe he doesn't feel like he could. There's a couple of reasons I might have taken that shot, Night Dog, in that situation. But the fact is he stayed up here. He's anchoring this hill. And he's got the T-29 and the ISM busy, which is going to help the guys down low do a little bit better, but they end up losing. So that's kind of the first point of discussion on this interesting replay is, all right, well, if Guido had gone down there with his T-29, would he have in fact been able to beat or at least maul the guys down there? That's a conjecture, right? That's up for debate. Who knows? We would do a nice shot there with the HE. He may have wanted that HE a little while later. I think he actually shoots it all here. We'll talk about why in just a minute. But the fact is that in this game, Night Dog took a more careful position, and he's going to be up here. So kind of bouncing off the ISM, none of those are really good chances. Interesting, that was an HE shot that did nothing. That's the problem with a relatively low caliber gun, and I believe he's shooting a 105 here. Yeah. There's only 21. So a 105 against really thick armor is probably not going to do a whole bunch at that point. You might have been able to overmatch his roof from the look down, or potentially even just punch through the upper plate because of all the look down. Now, Night Dog sees that his team loses and he skedaddles on out of here. So let's see how he plays in this more careful environment. Now, they've taken down the T-92, Black Prince. It was 4-3, but now it's 4-4. Looks like he was going to run off. Then he saw some guys going down there. Super Hellcat just suicides. I'm not really sure what his plan is, but he's going to die. Whatever the plan was, he ends up dying for it. And the Scorpion goes over there, and then I believe the Scorpion bails out as well once he realized that that's not happening. So Night Dog, being a more careful player, is going to fall back and look for opportunities to take these guys on. His team is doing a nice job up in the north, so they've gotten the north more or less sorted out. Night Dog, I think what I would have done is gone to this bush right here for the initial hold down capability to take those guys on as they popped up, and then with the opportunity to potentially fall back later on if they started pushing in. So that's the more aggressive, careful aggressive plan, in my opinion. But he has a pretty good stack of enemies right there, and he's going to go ahead and fall back. So let's just ignore that I would have gone down there. Whether or not I would have won, that's up for conjecture. Probably lost based on the sheer numbers they have down there and the tanks. More than likely, I bet I would have added more damage to them, but they'd have come up in any event, I'm pretty sure. Night Dog comes around here, and now he's going to start using the nice hold-down capability of the T-29. This is a tank he's comfortable with. This is a gameplay style he's comfortable with. Probably need a little lead fire. Also, I think you're going to figure this out. You probably wanted to wait because he actually exposed himself a little bit worse right there. Oh, that's unfortunate. He gets by with all his hit points right there. But he's going to use this play style, this more careful play style, to his advantage. So I think if you'd have stayed closer, you'd have had a much better shot on that ISM, and he would not have got by you right there. The danger is they just glom after you and push you, but I think with the Scorpion backing you up, they would be punished hard for that. So I just really think that position a little bit closer was a better spot for you. We fall back, though. He obviously knows about this spot. He's trying to get shots on this guy. For whatever reason, he tries to come up, and he punishes him for it with 291 into his side. Looks like the T-29 is up. EBR is coming in. I think in this case, you're a little bit timid on getting your turret up there and looking for shots there, Night Dog. Nice job there. He put a shot into him. High roll that time at 355. Got a low roll and a high roll and left him on the teens of damage. So you can see that Night Dog's HE is gone. This is going to be important later with the very self-same ISM. So I think if you had come over to this bush here, you might have had a better shot at seeing what's going on with the T-29. You'd have been covered up, as you can see from the angle. You'd have been covered up just fine from the ISM by using that bush right there to look for shots at that T-29 right there. And I think that T-29 is probably hold down. I think he's taking a peek at the Scorpion. Yeah, you don't come up high enough to find out. The Progetto comes around. The Scorpion reacts to it. Now look at there is another. Do they have two ISMs? How'd that ISM got all the way back? That is amazing. He drove. Oh, sorry. I think I'm confused. Am I confusing the 7501 and the ISM? I think I am. I think I'm confusing the 7501 and the ISM. Anyway, the ISM and the IS-3 are back at the cap. That's good information. That means that there's a Progetto, a near-dead 7501, a Progetto on low hit points. I think, for my money, you head up right in this low area and you push over with your guys here. You create that overmatch. You get rid of the Progetto and you get rid of that 7501, and then you clear out the cap much faster, and you probably preserve some capability and hit points. You're worried about the T-29, but I think he's going to take so long to get over there, and unfortunately there he is. So now the point is moot. Gang tackle by you and the Scorpion. I would have absolutely gone right after that T-29. There was no reason. And this is where we're getting into the, all right, you've played a really careful game. That's cool. This is your play style. Not a problem. You've done some decent work so far. And you're here to save the game, make sure that the cap is covered. But when you saw him, you should have absolutely gone up there and taken a chunk out of him. Because when you get up there, hold down, he's not going to pin your turret. If he does, he's extremely lucky. You're going to take a big chunk of hit points out of him, and maybe the Scorpion G takes him down with his shot. And we just sort of wait till the Scorpion G gets hit. And that's, to me, that's the wrong answer right there. That 240 would have been really nice to have put in him earlier. Holy cow, 240. Good Lord, that was an awful low roll. This is a nice shot here, Night Dog. Well done on this guy. Anytime a wheeled tank can go down. All right, cool. T-29 is dealt with. Down goes the EBR. We've still got the Progetto. Progetto took a hit. Hotchkiss is kind of keeping him busy. W. Look, the ISM. The ISM and the IS-3 are here. You guys have got to go get rid of these guys. You cannot let these guys win and then show up with these guns still in the game. Or let them get close enough to start shooting at you. You've got to W. It's W time. And this is that point I was talking about a little bit earlier, where it's fine to have a careful play style, but you have got to learn when to swing into W. And this was absolutely the time. And you're really basically just going to sit here. I'd have just pressed straight at that Progetto. And the Scorpion would have backed you up. You have 100% hit points. You got 1,200 hit points. Just go at it. Let the Scorpion hang back. Go in there, get your hold down shot. Once they shoot at you, the Scorpion comes in and ends these guys. And, you know, it's just, I was just sitting there going, dude, go get this Progetto. But he's run off. And this takes a while to develop, so we're going to speed this up. I think I might have even gone down to the ramp and hung out. Just going to show it to you here. I might have gone over to the ramp and hung out in this area right here, just in case they started coming up and I could punish them when they did that. And then the Scorpion can come back around if he had to and support me. Just going to kind of hang out. We'll just go really fast until these dudes show up. All right, there we go. There's the ISM. So he's up top. No sign of the Progetto. To get a shot on this guy. Ooh, yep. Another example, I had a video on this a while ago. I think if you'd have zoomed in more and just kind of moved your pipper right to the right side of that rock, so as soon as he poked out, you fired, you might have had a much better chance of getting that shot off because your aim was pre-positioned as opposed to waiting for him to show up and then trying to throw in the aim. I do that a lot. I'll just pre-aim at a spot especially when I know someone's coming from behind a rock. I'll just pre-aim right in front of it, and as soon as they come clear of it, boom, I've got that shot. Or at the very least, I'm much better ready for the shot or pre-aimed for the shot. Brigetto comes raging in here and just gets nuked by the Scorpion. And we're looking like, this looks like a win. I mean, we got an EBR Hotchkiss if he can get out of there without being killed. But here's the problem, and he actually kills himself, overturned. Overturn, if you can believe it. I'd like to have seen what happened there because EBRs are hard to actually overturn to where they actually land on their top. I've managed it, but it's not easy. So let's see what happens here. You might have been able to get in there and push that ISM. There are still some hold down spots over in this area over here. You can use these bushes as opposed to just kind of hang out in these same bushes right here. We get the Scorpion looking around. We just speed this up because it takes a while for them to show up. Speedy, 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 speedy. Where are they? Where are they? Scorpion's raging around. Where are these guys? One other thing I wanted to talk about here, Night Dog, is you do a lot of this back and forth, back and forth. It's very unlikely anyone's going to get close enough. I would have gone right to this bush, and just sit there, hold down, and turn your turret around. And just sort of turn your turret, or lock the turret and look right and left, just kind of watch. There's really no reason to rock and rock and rock and rock. It'd be very unusual if they actually saw you hide in these bushes before you saw them, based on how open the terrain is around there. All right, so the IS-3 shows up. The Scorpion is actually back behind with you. Scorpion's driving around. The IS-3 is there. I might have said ISM, but the IS-3 is there. And again, the problem with you're kind of right here, your turret's actually exposed to this line of sight right here. So I would have shifted over to this area here so I could come up behind the bushes here and not have that line of sight right through here and let him see me. Or potentially those bushes right there you're just pointing at. And then you're ready. You're aimed in and you're ready. And that's kind of important because he's over there. You know he's over there. He may try to poke around. If you're sitting there hold down with your gun pointed right there, ready to go, you may actually sneak one into him before he even knows that you're there. I.e. inside the 3 seconds. So here comes the ISM. Oh, look out. Okay, now, this is hugely important. And it goes back to the careful guy versus when it's time to get out and make it happen. Your Scorpion is pushing the ISM. The IS-3 is over here. He's fast, but not that fast. Start shogi this way, all right? Get on your horse, go this way. Stay as low in this ground as you can, but go and help the Scorpion get rid of the ISM now. Like, not later, but no kidding now. You see the IS-3, and see what I'm talking about? He saw you because of where you were on these bushes. Saw you where, if you were sitting in those 2 bushes right there, and he came around that corner, you'd have had him. Okay, you'd have definitely had a shot. So he takes a shot, and now we start moving, and holy cow, all of a sudden we're down 2-1. And had you just been moving, like I talked about, you'd probably be, I don't know, here, if not coming up and over and shooting. And while that IS-3 may have got a shot on your side as you exposed yourself coming up high right here, you'd have been up and over and taking out that ISM quickly. Now, as it is, you got to fight both these guys. The IS-3 is doing the right thing. He knows he's got to come at you. I think he can take a hit. Yeah, he can take a hit from you. Maybe. Nope, he can't. All right, so next thing that you needed to be doing. As soon as he came at you, that's fine. Not a lot you can do about that. You either pick him or him. You went between. Well, unfortunately, that was probably the exact wrong answer. I'd have gone after one or the other 100%. However, now that we're here, once you came up and over and you had a shot on this guy, you should have just stopped. Just stop the train and just get that best aim you can in on him and take him down. Boom, done. Okay? It's possible you low roll potentially, but not likely at 320 with only 240 or whatever it is that guy has. 80, even if it's 282, I can't even read it. I need my eyes. What is it? 282. More than likely, you're not going to low roll that. But as it was, you take a kind of hasty shot unaimed. Sometimes you just have to accept getting hit so that you can get the kill. And holy cow, I was a little bit surprised. All right, now, how do I handle this guy? This dude is probably a little bit slower than you, and you need some room between you and him. You do not want to face hug an ISM. And you may be saying, well, my T29 face hugs really well. Yeah, it does, but I don't want to face hug an ISM with T29. What I'd rather do is get some room. So one option is to just chogi on down this hill and head away. And yeah, you're giving him rear armor, but you'll be able to get your turret towards him. And then maybe turn around and get behind this tank. Use that as a little bit of armor. Or cut left and use this tank as something to block between you and him so that you can start working around. But if you can distance yourself, then you can get into his lower hull. Let's watch what happens. I thought that's what you're doing, but then you stop. And I'm thinking, oh, geez, don't do that. Okay, now let's talk about this. He is now trying to face hug you. See this tank? Use this dead tank to scrape him off. Just back up against that tank and then turn so that you slide off of it and go this way, and he can't stay on your side like this. And it looks like he pushed you actually there, didn't he? So maybe you weren't able to do that. Maybe that's what you were trying to do. There you go. All right, now one thing you can do is show you what you're doing. Another thing you can do at that point is back around this tank, right? So you go back up around this tank and then you slide left, and that's going to be very hard for him to stay right on your nose because he's going to run into the tank, and maybe you can work some separation from him. And now we're going after that hatch. Don't go after that hatch. Go after that hatch. That's the one you want. I don't even know if there's a hitbox behind that one, to be quite honest. But I know there's definitely one behind that one. And then this is one of those just desperation areas. You both have almost no hit points. He's trying to block you with his gun. Holy cow, what's happening? He doesn't appear to have any... Okay. Looked like you were going to have him right there. I might have tried to go by him to get some side shots. Just keep on trucking. He's backing up. You're going to be faster than him going back. The question is whether he can keep his front to you enough. And you might have been able to get right by him. Auto aim his side, go right by him, and shoot him right in the side. But we go, okay, no, I don't want him to reload in time. Get another bounce. Oh, go after that right hatch. That right hatch. I know this made me nervous the first time I watched it. I already gave away what happened. Your note said something about I could have won if I did X, Y, or Z. And I thought, oh my gosh, did we lose this? Is this where we lost this thing? The gun's damaged. That sucks. Oh, you don't have a repair kit. No, it's on cooldown. Oh, no. Holy cow. Are we going to get this thing done? Here we go. We're going after the right hatch now, fellas. Nope, we're just going to go after the... Oh, there we go. All right, why did that work? Because it was look down and you flat-plated that angled front armor got flat-plated because you were looked down on it and you had enough with your APCR to go through that thing. All right, man, and that is the end of that. I thought that was a really good example. When we get to these kind of desperate end game carry, holy cow, there's multiple guys and I'm face hugging and I have to get that shot in. Every time you get to that, go back to the beginning of your game, look at it and figure out how you got there. And I thought this was a great example of the more careful gameplay versus the more aggressive. I may easily have died down in this corner down here, but I think I would have mauled them and taken a lot more of their hit points had I got down there. There was an off chance I could have helped that team win down there. Maybe. Okay, I'm not claiming that's 100%. Night Dog didn't choose that. He chose to be up here and to be a little bit more defensive, and we did a nice job with it, and then we fell back. I think you fell back too much. I think there was a little bit of too much passivity at that point, back at the cap. There were several options, and you did note in your note when you sent it to me that, hey, there were a couple options where I could have done, so you're definitely aware of it. But I think it's good for all the viewers and all the community to kind of take a look at that and have a discussion about the whole thing. I know there's going to be people who go, oh, he was too passive, blah, blah, and there's going to be people that are going to say, no, he did exactly right, you got to guard the cap, all that stuff. I think the answer is really in between. Right there. There is a time for one and there is a time for the other. Some people skew or lean to the more aggressive side. Some people skew or lean to the more careful side. But somewhere in between is a lot of good answers for everybody, so that if you do need to be a little more aggressive at times, you've got some of the tools, you've seen some of the pictures that it looks like, some of the situations that you could do it in. And like I said, I think this is a great example of that. So nice game, man. You ended up with the win, 3 kills. 1,581 damage, 3,900 bounce. There you go. Do the Americans have bounce missions? I don't think they do. This one would have been good though, right? With only 1,250 hit points, that was almost more than 3 times. All right, guys, that's all I've got. Thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate the support of the channel, and we will see you.